Нет, зачем?
А где он? Тебе дал уже его. Вчера. Или позавчера. Вчера.
О, here. Так. А ну проверь, are we here? Нет, зачем? We are here. We're online, so hi everyone. It's Yuri
Hi guys.
and Levan, and it's a BulldogHammer.
It's the second attempt to stream live the recap for the LVO. We tried doing it yesterday, but it didn't work out for the technical difficulties.
We're still struggling with the software. For some reason, I don't know. It's me.
We just want to have this on the ongoing basis, just to stream and recap some of the events. And we're trying the new software called Streamlabs. And so we learn as we go.
Yeah. Let's not waste more time and let's go with discussions. Yuri, what are your thoughts about the event?
Well, LVO was one of the best events I've attended by far. This was, I think, the biggest AOS event ever. I think 370 people have registered and 324 have actually attended the event. And we're gonna share about our games, our experiences before we dive into that. I just want to make sure this is, I had one of the best games. The opponents I played with were amazing. So I cannot complain, or, there was nothing that, caused some sort of negative player experience or something like that. Even playing on the top table on the stream, I played Mike, a fantastic guy. He's a top Fire Slayer guy. And we're gonna get into the game, but I just don't want to repeat myself every time I'm gonna talk about the game. That I played the great opponent. Just that goes without saying. All the opponents were amazing. And what about you?
Yeah, it was actually a great experience. I was really shocked how many people were participating compared to last year, where I think around 200 people were registered, and with some drops it was around 180. This year, attendance was 323 people, which more than like 50% of increase after last year. And the organization level was level up, I would say.
Yeah.
Thanks to organizers, thanks to TOs, great people, very easy going, but still they're on top of things with their judgments, with their decisions, and everything was smooth. I didn't hear about any dramas. Even having 320 people playing, like there was zero dramas, and that's what our community tries to do, I think, and we're pretty close to that. I believe that next year will be even more organized. They're coming up with a new venue, better venue, bigger one. So everyone who were thinking to go and still didn't, please consider. First of all, we'll be happy to meet you in person, and secondly, just a great event and great time.
It was good to put so many faces to a name, right? People that we were in touch, either through YouTube or Twitter. We were finally able to meet them in person, right?
Yeah.
Like AOS Coach, Rolling One guys, many. I'm not gonna list all of them. The Northern Invasion, and they came all the way. Coach came from Australia.
Yeah.
Northern Invasion guy came from Scotland. So just fantastic.
Yeah.
Just
that was great.
Fantastic experience.
So let's start with our games, right? I think let's start with our own lists, and then we can go with the games, right? So let's put up your list, Yuri. This is your list. You came with a.
This is no. This is not my list. This is my first opponent.
Oh,
played with.
I am sorry. Sorry. This is your list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guide us through your list. You're bringing Nighthound. You obviously got better since you started with this army, especially for a couple of months. You've been winning all the RTTs left and right, and now you went 5-0.
Yeah.
So what's the secret?
Like everything else, there is no secret ingredient here. The only thing is, if you want to get better at the game, you need to practice, right? So I practiced with this army, similar list for 6 months, attending different events. We have our own channel where we, what's that?
That's my list, not first level list. But okay, we'll figure it. Sorry about that, guys. So,
yeah. So, like I said, practice. I don't think my list is something extraordinary. Nate Trontinelli's list actually was, pretty unconventional for the Nighthound. Mine is pretty straightforward. Lots of blade guys. It's a pretty aggressive list. I like to play it aggressively when I move. And try to delete everything on my way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a 50-50 type of everything relies on the 9-inch charges, which sometimes I'm lucky to make, sometimes I don't. And if I do, I win. If I don't, I lose. And during this event, I was super lucky. Most of my charges went in and allowed me to win the game. Overall, I went 5-0 at LVO, and I lost at the shadow round, which we're gonna get into soon.
Tell me, what's if you take conventional Nighthound list, what's the difference between your list and like very, very conventional standard Nighthound list, where I believe you have Cruciators, Chain Guards?
Yeah. I think my list is very close to being a conventional list. Many people like to take the the Guardian of Souls, because he allows you to bring back the 6 models back, and he gives +1 to wound. However, I prefer taking Spirit Hosts, Spirit Torments, because Spirit Torments guarantee 3 models every turn, versus D6 because you need to cast a spell and then you can always roll 1. So I have 2 of those. I have Cruciator. This is essentially auto include for me. Considering the previous meta was lots of bounty hunters, so he helped to mitigate some of the damage. And then I'm running bunch of blade guys. It's 60 blade guys. I've got the unit of hex rates just for screens, and I'm allying fell bats from the Soul Blade Gravelord. Just the main purpose is to essentially to screen and block.
Are you ready to move to your first game?
Yeah. So first game, I played Scott Dillon, an Ossiarch Bone Reaper player. He had a pretty solid OBR list. If you if you can call an OBR list a solid list, I think this book needs some sort of love. But he did really well. He ran the list that I was thinking of running. So Mortar Guard, 2 blocks of Mortar Guard, backed by Godithar Harvester to bring them back, making them very resilient. They were expert conquerors, if I remember correctly. He had a Stalkers, and he also had Arkan the Black, right? And Mortizan Soul Mason. My personal preference is to take Catacross. This could be the only change I would make to that list, but that's a personal preference. The reason why I take Catacross is for the buffing ability, -1 to heat, and he's essentially also very resilient unit. So, like I said, I got lucky in my first turn. I was able to make a long charge. I passed his screen of 10 Mortar Guards, and I got into the Stalkers directly. So I was able to lift the unit quickly with a mortal wound output and essentially 60 attacks. And I also crippled a unit of 20. All right. Obviously, Gorisar Harvester was there to help. But the damage was done, right? The unit was crippled, and then he took the turn. He positioned himself well. He took both of objectives, so he scored 5 points his turn, and then I won the next priority. I went in again. I was able to kill one Gorisar Harvester and cripple another unit of 20 Mortar Guards, and went to as essentially Nighthound allows you retreat and charge, and when you do that, you deal mortal wound again. So I crippled his another unit that was already suffered some casualties, and then there was so then he took the turn. He dealt some damage, but there was already insignificant one. And on the turn 3, I got into his Archon the Black with a retreat and charge, and I lifted him, and that was essentially a game. He played really well. I don't know if there is anything he could have done differently, because I think Nighthound counters OBR, and OBR is not in the best place, but he had a great looking army. It was a Tomb King style conversion. He, you can tell that he's really passionate about the army. So kudos to him for bringing this list and playing this list. Like I said, it was a pleasure playing Scott. So yeah, so that won me the first game.
Very nice. And then you moved to game number 2. Game number 2 was with whom?
So the game number 2 I played with
Work
yes. I played against Cruel Boys. It's I don't think that the Cruel Boys are their best as well, though
they've never been better, so
they probably yes, that's true.
There is no damage, Sameri. No damage.
No damage. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so a fantastic individual. I remember him from the last year. He also played. He's like a dedicated Cruel Boy player. Last time he brought the list with Kragnas, and he played a good friend of ours, Lionel from the X Planet. And watching that game, I really appreciated how cool this opponent was, like how positive he was, even though he lost the game, and that what makes essentially a great player. I think he's one of the top Cruel Boys players. So he ran 2 units of 9. His sub-legend was Big Yellows. He ran Rogue Idol, and he ran the Killer Boss on the Vulture.
That's an interesting choice, Rogue Idol in a Cruel Boys list, and many people like playing Rogue Idols. I personally don't see so much value in it because I think it's a very expensive model, and you have to take your book stuff. But many people do very well without Rogue Idol. And how did it play in your matchup?
He's essentially a very tanky piece, right? Yeah. And Chris played him really well. He used to block, protect his vulnerable Bold Boys. And essentially he survived the entire game. right? My key target was the ball boys, which I was able to
Of
clean
course,
at the
yeah.
end, right? But he rolled really poorly on fives and sixes. So I remember he rolled well on fives and sixes when he was fighting with his Hogwarts, but not, but not on the when he was making a shooting attack. Overall, positionally, he played well. He protected them. He screened well. It took me 2 or 3 turns to get into his bold boys. And towards the end of the game, I felt that I was suffering. I was losing models, right? So, but with this army, once you clean the bold boys, it's essentially a game, right? Rogue Idol cannot be everywhere. So that was the game. I was really surprised, and I asked him that usually with so many ball boys, you would bring a croc just for the extra damage, for the extra mortal wound output. But his view was that crocodile was a trap, which I had only few games with cruel boys, and I thought they were essentially amazing when they're supported by the croc. But he thought otherwise, and who am I to question that? It just was good to get a different perspective. So I got major there and moved to the game number 3, where I faced. There was
1 second.
yeah. So I faced the Nighthound, right? I faced Kyle, who was running a pretty similar list that I have, with lots of Blade guys supported by the Crusader, by the Spirit Torments. He had Guardians of Soul. He had a Banshees. So 2 blocks of 20 Blade guys. And I thought that we had to do, some sort of dancing during this game, right? And the key here would be who first would make a mistake, overextend, and then other player would capitalize on that mistake, right? And the key here was who would charge first with the 20 blade guys, right? You can see his list on the screen.
No, it's Osiark, right? It was game number 3 I have here.
Oh, you got us here. Okay.
Which was we're moving to number 3, right?
Yeah, number 3 was Nighthound.
1 second, please.
So while you're doing that, I'm gonna keep talking about the game. So essentially, he gave me the first turn. He outdropped me. He gave me the first turn. I screened my army with a hex race with the horses.
Oh, I have Osiark here. Okay. Let's just quickly. Well, you know his list, right?
Yeah, I know his list. Yeah. So I went through his list. I think I sent you the list via email.
Yeah, it's here, but it says game 3 OCR.
No, just a regular email. I copied in the body of the email.
No, it was game 2 Cruel Boys.
Oh, War Clans. Okay.
Okay, but yeah, you can go through it. I think Nighthound.
Yeah. So essentially, what happened? He took the bait and he charged in with his unit of 20 blade guys, which I thought was, like an early Christmas for me, because he obviously lifted a unit of horses, but then there were 20 blade guys in front of me. All right, so what I did, in my turn, on the bottom of turn 1, I charged with all of my blade guys into his unit of 20, and I lifted them right there. Right, and then he was down 20, and he had another unit of 20, and everything else is essentially was more like a support /buff. And then it went, game of an attrition, right?
Yeah.
So screen, move, screen, move, and charge. And then eventually, I moved my way up and I got into his another unit of 20. And by then, there was a game, right? But worth noting, it was anybody's game at that time. Like I said, whoever would charge with a unit of 20 first and leave the unit of 20 would win the game. I was lucky that it was me. But yeah, so that ended the day one. I went 3-0
3-0, yeah.
Back then, so it was a pretty good start. And now maybe you can tell us about your day one.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Let's go with my day one. Let's open my list. It was I went with Iron Jaws. It was last minute decision. I was going with ogres with the cannon laced, and then when they increased points where I couldn't take Gladons and I had to substitute with lead belchers, I just didn't like the idea. Just for castling and just shooting, it would be a pretty boring game, I would believe. With Gladons, at least I can roam and do some stuff differently, and actually they worked very, very well. So I just didn't like it. So I wanted to come back to the roots where I started with Iron Jaws. I didn't play them for a while. And honestly, I just thought it would be like just fun games, and they were. As you mentioned regarding your opponent, that they were all easy guys and easy going guys, so to play and good people. I was very lucky with my opponents too. They were very, very interesting people to play against, to talk to. There was no drama, there was no tensions. Just healthy, probably competition. That's it. And after the games, we hugged. We had great conversations. Thanks to all my 5 opponents that I had. It was amazing. So. Going to my list, so of course, I would agree that Mo Crusher with a million picks is the best list for Angels so far, which was proven by Scooter, who got the LVO. But I just hate.
Noble won LVO. He played in the final.
Oh yeah, he won second. Yeah, he played in the final, but
it was funny. He was announced first, and then
he was announced first, and then that was an amazing moment. Yeah, but I just hate the idea of painting million picks, so I went with 12 picks.
Because 30 brutes are easier to paint than 6 picks, of course.
Yeah, and 30 brutes. Yeah, brutes are cool models. I like brutes, but paying just pig, it's too much respect to the pig. But so I brought 30 pigs, Megabots with the Destroyer, and 2 War Chanters with Get and Beat. And one of my War Chanters was General with Archon Tome, Mystic Shield, and Hand of Gork. So it's very melee, hard-hitting list. What I like about this list is it has waves of damage. So if you kill first row, then more brutes are coming. If you kill that brutes, then another wave is coming. And
they're bounty hunters as well.
And they're
right?
Bounty hunters. The 2 pigs and 10 brutes were bounty hunters. Everything else were expert conquerors, which helped me a lot. And the best part is, like, even if you have few models on the table, they can still punch really hard and turn the table to your favor.
Even if 5 brutes are left, they can murder anything they touch, essentially, right? Even if 5 models are left, right? A unit of 5. The damage output is essentially
the damage
supported by the War Chanter.
Is great. War Chanter had a get and beat, so it allowed me on 3+, choose 1 unit and roll 3d6 for charge, which helped me first game immensely. And I will get to it. I don't have a list here, unfortunately. Or 1 second, please. I'll bring It doesn't download for some reason.
Okay, it's just technical issues. First stream. Don't be harsh on us.
Yeah, we're still learning. Even though I googled the easiest app software to use, I'm still struggling. But so first game I faced was actually I think I can choose and use our screen window capture at source. 1 second, guys. We're very, very sorry.
Just go through the list like that.
Just, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get it fixed for another stream.
Yeah. So I played Joshua Lowry. He played Seraphon. Amazing, fantastic guy. We had a great time. So his list is Seraphon, Coalescent, Thunder Lizard. Grand strategy is take what's theirs. So he has a Croak, Skink Priest, Engine of Gods, Skink Star Priest, Saurus Astrolith Bearer, 10 Skinks, 5 Saurus, 10 Skinks, Bastiladon with a Solar Engine, Realm Shaper Engine, 5 Chameleon Skinks, and Stormstrike Chariot from Stormcast Internals.
So pretty standard list, aside from the
chariot. Yeah, pretty standard list, and actually probably it would be the game to his favor just because it's Seraphon and because he was pretty good player. But there was one, I would say, lucky moment. Probably lucky moment. But so my first turn. Actually, he went first. He did some damage and everything, and then it was my first turn. I moved with Mighty Destroyers. I moved 18 with my pigs, and then with my War Chanter beat, I rolled 3+, so I would roll 3d6, and I rolled. I don't remember. It was 13 or 14. I don't remember, but I was able to get 2 Crocs somehow with 3 pigs. And they were buffed with Violent Fury, additional damage and everything, and they did damage on charge, which was negated, right? But yeah, and I just charged with everything, and 3 other pigs, they went to his bodyguards. So to make it short, I killed the Croc first turn, and killed all his
Soros guards, right?
Soros guards.
Yeah.
After that, he started cleaning my army, but I was just getting points because honestly, he just has 2 monsters. One Bastiladon, which was fighting with my 3 units, and I couldn't do any damage to him. And it was just getting points for myself because I just had more bodies, and eventually, his what's his name? Engine of Gods fell too, and yeah, it was a game. When Croc went down, he was pretty shocked. I was shocked too. So I dealt 15 damage to him with my Gorgrantas, and then we were just rolling 1 die by 1. But so he had to roll 5 with 3 dice. So first roll, he rolls 5. So at this point, so it was the game.
But do you think he outpositioned his Croak, or you were lucky with the charge?
The problem is with the positioning. Yes, he positioned his Bastiladon really well, and his troops actually, because he was able to tie my troops. But with Engine of God, I think he got a little bit more comfortable than he had to. He just couldn't realize that I could roll so much for the charge, probably. And even though he thought maybe if in charge I wouldn't be able to do damage, he was pretty comfortable because when we were discussing, he said, he can blah blah blah, then he can heal, he can bodyguard and everything. That's the problem with Iron Jaws. You can underestimate their damage output. So he had to move because because of the objectives there, how they were positioned. he had to somehow split his troops a little bit. He couldn't just sit in a castle, so he just moved a little bit, right? It wasn't too much. He still was behind.
It was enough.
Yeah, but it was enough. So that's that. Yeah, probably if he would play this game again, he would stay back. But yeah, that's what can happen during our games.
So that's the first victory for you.
That was his first victory, and when I saw Seraphon, I was like, oh, that's the first game for me. Oh no, but it went really lucky. For my side, second game was with Valentin Valiant. He's a team Belgium, actually. Amazing gentleman. I had so much fun playing against him. Really was happy that so many people from different countries joined this event, and he actually came with all his team. You faced his teammate later on. We will discuss for day 2.
Yeah.
So Valentin, he brought Sylvaneth, Gnarlut, Grand Strategy Take was theirs, and I have Defense was ours, so it was like, it's either or, Triumph Inspiring.
You would be denying.
Yes, each other, yes. So there could be only one person with a Grand Strategy. He brought Warsong Revenant, Spellsinger, of course, with Arcane Tome, Lore of Deepwood Tree Song.
Regrowth was the spell.
Regrowth was Regrowth. He chose the spell. No, the Regrowth he chose for Tree Lord Ancient.
Oh, because for the Tree Lord, yes.
Yeah, it was. Oh, you're beautiful too.
Shout out to Mike.
To Matt.
To Mike and Matt. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's very close to my list, except I don't take Tree Lord. I prefer Draika. I tried Durthu. It's not my style. But many people do very well with the Tree Lord Ancient, and he's Team Belgium, so he knows better. 6 Revenant Seekers, one of the best units in the game, probably. And 3 units of 5 Tree Revenants who can just teleport, grab objectives, easy barge and easy desecrates, and etc. And to cherry on the pie, he was with the Crownspire Incarnate. Very interesting choice. I actually ran this Incarnate with Tillmanus too, but then I dropped it. But it played really, really well in his favor. So what's happened? He took the first turn. He did so much damage with the Tree Lord's spell, which does AOE damage on 5s up. I think he killed first turn or barely killed my War Chanter or left his 1 wound. I don't know, but there was lots of damage. He damaged because he summoned the tree. And then he just started doing lots of damage all around. That was painful. And then he brought Tree Lord Ancient, did some damage there too. And then it was my turn. And I noticed that his Incarnate was just touching within 3 his Revenant Seekers. And his Incarnate was touching and bound to his Tree Lord. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, I have to go. That would be a great game. I just need to kill Tree Lord. So I bought my unit of 10 iron brutes, unit of 6 pigs, and I just moved to Tree Lord. And I declare war, because if I kill this guy, Incarnate is stuck with the Revenant Seekers, 2 most expensive units in the game, and then they just kill each other. So that was my plan, and I charged with my pigs, and with Wa, I think I had to roll with Brute 7, and I failed, and I rerolled, and I failed again, and it was, oh my god, oh no. And 6 pigs, unfortunately, for some reason, couldn't kill the Ancient, so that plan failed. And then, of course, Valentin, I think he got this too. He moved quickly and he moved up his positions really well. So it was very tight game, back and forth. I really, till the end of the game, we didn't know who could win. His 3 Revenants were on my territory, sitting in the corners. So basically, it meant that I can't get my grand strategy, or I have just to chase them. And if I chase them, he will just teleport to the other side of the table. So I had to probably forfeit my grand strategy. So I had just to be very aggressive on the battle tactics and objectives. And one thing that Sylvaneth lacks, it really hard for Sylvaneth to hold the objectives well, because they jump all over the place. They're not that tanky, so they rely more on damage killing and then just to run away. So I was doing good there, and then I got into the fight with Revenant Seekers, and there was a small mistake that Valentin, not even mistake, he had to do that. So he killed his leader. I killed 5 his Revenant Seekers, and he had only 1 banner, not the leader. And when on his turn, when Valentin decided to teleport, he teleported away in the corner, because Seekers have 5 plus rally, and then on 2 plus they're bringing back a motto. And when he tried to rally, I was kind enough to remind him that he didn't have a leader round. So he couldn't rally, and he's like, "Oh no!" Yeah, that was a big thing, and it was getting close to the end of game. He was doing really good, still playing objectives, and we were like point to point, and I think I won the game by just 1 point.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was very extremely close game, and it was lots of fun.
Were you able to take in the grand strategy in the case?
No, I could not, because basically it was in the end of the 5th turn. It was like, it's either I have to try to charge them, or I just have to go with a battle tactic and more objectives and just score more points. And I decided to do that. And I won, I think, by 1 point. And I believe that Valentin ended 12th in LVO. So he did really good.
Well done, yeah.
Yeah, so congrats. 3rd game went against Nighthound, Jan Black. Scarlet Doom, very close list to yours.
Yeah, very close.
Except he has a Rakener, the Grimhailer, and
Guardian of Souls, yeah.
And Guardian of Souls.
So 2 units of 20 Blade Guys, unit of 10 Blade Guys, 3 units of Spirit Host, 5 units of Hex Raid, and he is also bringing a Purple Sun that he uses the Midnight Tome to autocast with his Guardian of Soul.
That's what was the name of this battle plan with 8 objectives, right? Where you set them. So the plan was in my favor because unfortunately he had to split somehow to get the battle victory points. If he didn't, then he could castle and then just sit there. But I would capitalize on victory on objectives, which I did. And the damage output was really favorable to my side. Gorka was on my side. I rolled very well. I was able to lift everything I touched. And by the end of the game, basically, he just fell apart, unfortunately. I think it was bad luck for his side and lots of luck on my side, just getting through the attacks. I remember what happened, which basically broke the game. When I charged him, first turn I didn't do too much damage. I just killed all the screens, and then it was his turn to charge with Blade Geist Revenants 20 and 20. Mm-hmm. So what he did, he was too comfortable. He thought that he will be able to clean my units of pigs with 20 and 20 Blade Guys. There were 2 units of pigs around and Brutes. And he thought, okay, I will clean pigs with 20 and 10 Blade Guys will clean probably Brutes. So he overextended himself from Cruciator. thinking that he will be able to wipe me. It's a good choice probably because he really has damage to do that. Even he could I don't know, lift one pig that would do not much thing. So he attacks, and really unfortunately, he fails his attacks, and I roll insane amount of 5s on saves. Like, it was insane. And he was shocked, and I think I lost only one pig from whole attacks from Belite guys. So now they're out of Cruciator. My pigs are Bounty Hunters and Violent Fury, so 3 damage for each attack and 3 damage for the pig.
Pain.
Yeah, and everything was destroyed, and then smashing and bashing went through, and it was full of lots of mess. And I think after that, Yen couldn't come back, but he's a great guy. His army was really, really well painted in a 80s horror style. His Purple Sun has Freddy Krueger's face on it, you know. His Guardian of Souls had Freddy Krueger's paint, like green and red.
Yeah, like a splatter, yeah.
And all of his 50 blade guys had, what's the name of Friday the 13th, the hockey masks.
Oh, yeah.
So that's lots of work for him. So that ends my day 1. I went 3-0, so I was pretty excited.
So we're both 3-0.
Yeah.
Very excited about next day. Who we gonna face?
Yeah. So there were around 40 3-0s by the time, so we could face any one out of 40 people and LVOs who won 3-0 first day. And Yuri, who did you face?
Believe it or not, it was one of 39 chances I would face you. And it turned out that the 4th game was between you and I.
Yeah.
As if we don't have enough game playing with each other here back home.
Yeah. That was actually really disappointing point at this moment. If we would, I don't know, maybe game 5, that would be reasonable. But 4, kicking one of us out was a little bit frustrating. But what can you do? Look, BCP loves us. I think every tournament we get paired. And so the battle plan was the one with the splitting objectives.
Yeah,
we started with the center. So everything was just boom. There's no like positioning, castling, and just go forward. So my plan was I outdropped Yuri, and that's funny. I had 9 dropped, and all my 5 games I outdropped my opponents. Maybe one game I did not. First against Suman, he was a 1 drop. Yeah, my plan was actually buff my pigs, go charge. Because Yuri didn't drop his 20 black guys, so there was only 20.
There were only 20 on the field.
There were only 20,
so you took the first turn.
Yeah, I took the first turn because I had to.
Which surprised me. I thought I would be going first.
That was my plan until you decided to reserve 20 black guys. Because if you would take first turn and you got to the middle objectives, I would never get it back. Because you had an insane amount of expert conquerors and everything, and you would just accumulate points. So my plan was for 3 turns, I'll try to hold the objectives and get points, and then if I'm lucky enough, then maybe by victory points I'll get the win. So I charge with my pigs, I clean all the screens, I kill your hex race, right? Mm-hmm. And then you had only 20 black guys with versus my 6 pigs. I thought, okay, 12 pigs actually. I thought, okay, if they last for 2 turns, that's enough, right? That's all I need them to do, and then I have brutes, to fight. Let's say in the next turns. But to my surprise, you were able to clean all my 12 pigs in 1 turn, and it was painful. Really painful. I don't know what to say more. It was like
in a turn. That was insane because I have this artifact that gives me a +1 attack once per battle.
Yeah,
and I used it essentially. I needed to clean the screen, and it turned out pretty well for me. Yeah. So the screens were the pigs were out. and then all your brutes were in front of me. I won the double turn, right? And I went in and I tried to clean the rest. Though it was a pretty, it sounds one-sided, but it was a pretty close game. Nevertheless,
yeah,
right?
yeah, there were some really important roles like double turn or when I left with my 20 brutes, I was hitting your 20 blade guys or something, and I left only 2, and you had 20 left. And if I would kill those 2, that my brutes wouldn't be stuck with them, so I would be able to charge another unit of 20, but they got stuck with 2 stupid models. 20 brutes got stuck with 2 models, and then I couldn't charge it, do anything, and then you charge and just clean everything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was brutal. I didn't get much points there.
Redeploy twice was huge.
Oh yeah, 2 very important redeploys. One of them actually was your battle tactic to kill the unit, and for 2 very important redeploys, I rolled 1. Yeah, that hurt. But yeah, what can you do? And with that, I went to the next round with 3-1, and you went with a 4-1, 4-0, right?
4-0, yeah.
So let me then talk with my game, because it's less eventful, as I went for my 5th game, and there was no chance that I could get into the finals. So my 5th game was actually against ogres. Yeah, my 5th game was against ogres. So it was one frost lord. One Frost Lord, then with the Arcane Tome, actually, he was doing giving him Violent Fury and -1 to wound with Mount Crate. Then there was Stonehorn with Beast Riders. Then there was Thunder Tusk, Houseguard on Thunder Tusk. And then finally, there was Kragnos. So again, very melee army. What has I think my opponent was actually great guy, Joel. Was very nice meeting him, and what actually happened there, that I think he played a little bit more defensively than he had to. That gave me an opportunity to actually pick my positions better and strike where I needed. So he split his Thunder Tusk units basically. Well, he had to, right? He had to fight for objectives, but he had to split them. So my 6 picks went to Thunder Tusk, another 6 picks went to Beast Riders. They were picked up, but then he came back with Frost Lord, killed some units, and it was a bloodbath because there was lots of damage. And then, so in the end, his Frost Lord was in combat with my 6 picks and 10 brutes, and another 6 brutes, I believe. Unfortunately, my Mega Bots with Destroyer was killed by Kragnos Charge, and Kragnos charged this unit, and he was in range of fighting with 6 brutes. So he decided, okay, you know what? It's more important to fight with the Stonehorn because 6 brutes can do nothing to fully heal Kragnos. So, and Stonehorn needs to survive. There's more danger there. So he fought there, and he killed some stuff. But then 6 brutes and fought with Kragnos, and to my surprise and Sir Joel's surprise. 6 brutes killed fully healed Kragnos. Just one shot him. 2 wounds. I dealt exactly 18 wounds to Kragnos. 2 up saves.
6
yes.
upward.
6 upward, yeah. He failed all his saves, and my brutes were under Violent Fury.
Just painful.
That was painful. Like, he was like, it's impossible. I said, I'm sorry. I thought I would do like 6-7 damage to him, not more. But they were on fire, and after that, yeah, there was only one Stonehorn surrounded by multiple units of my brutes and Gorgrant, so there was basically no chance to come back. But so I ended up the tournament with 4-1 with a still exceptionally good mood because all my opponents were great sports, great event, and I was very excited. So it was time to get some beer.
And 4-1 is really strong.
It's not
right?
bad, yeah. It's more than I expected in when I was just building the list. But it proved to be much better than I thought. Good for me.
Yeah.
And Yuri, so you went to game number 5, your last game. It
Yeah, I
was
played
against-
Mike. Mike was ranked as a top Fire Slayer player at ITC, so congratulations with that. Fire Slayer, like every time I play with a Fire Slayer, it's like a grind, right? It's nobody wants to die, and it's they're a very resilient army, right? Essentially, what won me the game, and I won the game by 1 point only, is that I denied him his grand strategy.
Oh, really? How did you do it? They have auto grand strategy, basically.
Yeah. So essentially, they have this invocation, right? And then their goal is for that to stay at the end of the game.
And Yuri has no priest to
And I don't
banish
have
it, right?
Priest, right? So he summons it turn 1, but then he rolls double for his movement. And when you roll double, invocation goes away, right? So, which wasn't a big problem because it was only turn 1, right? But then I take the turn, and he had 2 priests. One he deployed in his corner. Another one he put in reserve to bring it back later in the game with a unit of 20 guys. So my turn, I deploy unit of 10 blade guys, 9 away, and I was able to charge the priest, and I kill him. Now his turn, he brings.
Oh, sorry, may I interrupt you? So you charged, you basically devoted this charge to kill the priest. That was your tactic.
That was my
to deny him grand strategy.
To deny his grand strategy. Yes.
Your 20 guys are just inside his camp. Basically, weren't you afraid that he will just leave?
10 guys.
There were only 10 guys.
Yes.
You charged with only 10 guys.
I brought back 10, and
nice.
essentially they were like a sacrifice type of squad. They were there on the mission just to kill the priest and prevent him from, summoning this invocation. And then there was another priest, but he was somewhere in reserve, and nobody knew where he's gonna come from, right? So he finally, I think at the turn 3, he brings this guy up in the movement phase. So with a unit of 20, he charged with a unit of 20. He dealt some damage, but I didn't care about that. I cared about this specific guy because he can only bring this invocation at his turn, his hero phase. So once he brings this, he don't have to roll for anything. He just have to leave him alone to get his grand strategy. So my one only shot was to get this 9-inch charge. And I brought the unit of 20 from the reserve, and I positioned them, and I rolled that 9-inch charge that I needed. So I killed his priest, so there was no way for him to summon any to summon the invocation. And we were so starved, right? We didn't want to, neither of us wanted to engage. So he was holding his 2 objectives, I was holding my 2 objectives. And turn 3, 4, and 5, I didn't have any battle tactic to score even, right? Because we were very far away from each other. So for turn 3, for 3 turns, I didn't score any battle tactics. He didn't score any battle tactics for the turn 4 and 5. But given that I was able to score my grand strategy and denied his grand strategy, I still was able to win by 1 point, right? Which was extremely close game. Great experience overall. Playing Mike, great player, fantastic personality, And so with that, I was 5-0, and I was hoping that I would get in top 8 without having to play the Shadow Realm, because the Shadow Realm was the mission that didn't favor me at all. Where I honestly don't recall this mission, and I already threw away my GHB. And this mission is not in the new GHB, thankfully. But this is the mission where the opponent score, where you score additional victory points for killing a GV. So 2 victory points for killing a GV and 3 victory points for killing a GV if this GV was contesting an objective, right? So 3, and my entire army was a GV. I played, and I apologize for butchering his name, Rijolet. He's a Team Belgium, great guy. He brought the Beast of Chaos. You can see his screen, his list on the screen. Extremely knowledgeable player. Not only he knew my army, but he knew his armies from the inside out. He positioned well. He played well. He had only 2 units of GV. I think it was Ongors that he capped at the corner of the table. So yeah, honestly, I just wish I could give him a better game, better fight. But I did my best, and
sorry to interrupt. You can check the game at Honest Wargaming stream YouTube. It was streamed there.
Rob was broadcasting this game.
It was amazing game. It was back and forth. It was so tight, and it's really, really worth watching, especially with Rob's comments.
yeah. And Rob is amazing, you know that. So I ended up losing this game. He ended up taking the 6th place overall in LVO, which, hearty congratulations to him for a well-deserved victory. But on the positive side was that, I didn't have to play the following day, and I could finally enjoy Vegas, right? Yeah. So, which we did. And so that was our experience at LVO. Obviously, Noah won the LVO. There was a very dramatic game with Scooter, both amazing players, amazing sports. They both deserve to be in finals, and our congratulations to them. I think this both individuals, it's just they have a different DNA, right? They're just an amazing players. Like Noah also was in the top 8 last year. He won the boys this year with Beast of Chaos. So just fantastic. It's just well deserved, and congratulations to both of them.
Yeah, game was incredible actually, and that Scooter was announced as a winner first.
Yes, he was.
That was such a dramatic point. Well, you should understand all the excitement to watch these games, final games. Even the before game, we were watching the semi-final with Gavin Brigard, who was the LVO winner last year, and he ended up ITC #1 world. So congrats to him too, exceptional player.
And he played him in finals as well last year, yeah.
And he played Scooter, and how he played, how he managed to block movement for Mole Crusher because there were impossible terrains. There is endless spell there, so he couldn't jump over the terrain with the Mole Crusher. So Scooter still won, but it was insane games. And why I'm saying that when you watch the games, the finals, and everything, you first of all, just attitude around people, how they support each other, how they make fun and everything, and the finalists, they had so much fun. They weren't stressed, right, because of the noise around and everything. And third part, you just comment every move they do with all seriousness, and like chess games, you just discuss, okay, if he would move there, and then if he moved there, then but then he would use this ability, then, and we discussed every turn like that, and it was so much fun. And by the end, Scooter was announced as the winner because he had a Cave Shaman holding the objective against Noah's spawn, which, like, I don't know, that's
yeah, somebody caught it on Twitch. So Cave Shaman was 4 wounds, and
not 5. So he doesn't count as 2 models on objective.
2 models, whereas Spawn does. And initially it was judged that Scooter would still hold the objective, but then somebody in the chat caught it, and they overruled that. because in reality, spawn being counted as 5 takes this objective, and thus winning no a game, which was such a dramatic episode. And I remember you played Noah in the boys in the final as well, and the spawn was the MVP of that game when he miscasted.
He tied my whole army. Yeah. So basically, what he did, you're right. He miscasted with his hero and killed his hero in the middle of my army, and spawn came. He just tied whole my.
Yeah, just in the middle of the army, and the entire ogre army was tied.
Yeah,
with that spawn.
So yeah, congrats to Noah, congrats to Scooter, congrats to all the finals, congrats to Yuri, and congrats to all of us, because it was a great event. It was a thing to remember, and we're looking forward to come back. And strongly advise you, if you have any opportunities, come. Let's just have fun, meet each other, drink beer, and have fun.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we can sum up.
Yeah. So that concludes our overview of the LVO. Like I said, we'll try to do more streaming, not only the battle reports, but maybe recap some of the RTTs, GT we go to, because we go...
Battletorn reviews we will do, right, probably.
Battletorn review, time to time we're going to do that, so we want to get more engaged with that. In the meantime, leave any comments, see what will bring value to the community, what else you want to see, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.